Hi, thank you for joining me for today's process video, and today I'm scrapping a photo of us in a minibus going to Manchester Airport for our trip to New York at New Year. I'm going to be using Here and There from Simple Stories, which was last year's collection, along with 49er Market's Wherever, their brand new collection. They work really nicely together. So I've just taken some of the embellishments from the 49er Market collection and put them with the Here and There papers. I've still got plenty of papers left, so I don't need to worry about adding to those just yet. So first of all, I wanted to create a circle. So I grabbed my Oaky Bear Blue inklings from Shimmers Paints, and you saw there I used a pair of compasses just to very faintly draw a pencil line roughly where I wanted the circle to go, and then I've watered down the watercolour and just adding the circle there. I also added some splatters just at the end with what was left of the ink on my paintbrush. So now I'm matting the photo onto some white cardstock. Now this isn't the best photo, it was a very quick snap, a selfie that I took in the van. Ross was next to me, so he didn't actually get into the selfie. But I just wanted to document this story because we have a neighbour who has a minivan. He's a taxi, and he's just a godsend to us because he's brilliant for airport runs and things, totally reliable and just around the corner. So just what you need when you're going on holiday. The taxi service in Warrington is very variable. Sometimes they just don't turn up, or you order a van and a little tiny car shows and your luggage doesn't fit in. So Barry, our neighbour, is our answer now. So I just wanted to document that fact. So I'm just pulling out the acetate pieces first of all and trying to work out where I want my photo to go and how I want all these layers to go behind it. I know I definitely want to use some film strips, and I do love these big frames that come in the acetate pieces as well, but I'm not quite sure. So while I'm thinking about it, from the ephemera pack I've pulled out this mat, and I'm just adding a little piece behind the photo to the bottom right. I've trimmed the excess off, you can see there. I was considering using that blue block, but it didn't quite work for me, so I grabbed this destination paper. It doesn't, you can't really tell what it is, but the black gives some gravitas behind that photo. I was really pleased with how that looked in the end. So just trimming that down to size, and then I can glue everything down and then distress the edges. So just get my glue to work and then gluing that first bit down to the bottom right hand corner, and then I've temporarily lost my edge distresser. I think it's because my desk is such a mess, so I really need to have a tidy up. So just using my scissors to distress those edges, and then I can get that glued down. So I decided to switch out the film strip frame, and I want to go for a central look. I do like to have a vertical central strip for my layouts, and you'll see more often than not I end up doing that even when I try and move to the left or right. But there's that frame and then the film strip, and I'm really liking how that's looking. So that's a great start. That was the piece that I cut off from that paper backing from the ephemera pack. So I'm just going to add that as another layer to the left hand side. I really like how that looks. And then I'm going to go into the rub-ons. Now there are 3 sets of rub-ons in this Wherever collection. I've gone for the one with all the cars on for this layout because obviously we're driving to the airport. But it's not just transport, this also has lots of other bits and pieces. You'll see me using them shortly. So I am sorry for the camera wobbling while I rub this on. It's attached to my desk now, so and any sort of movement I do like this, it does make the camera jog a bit. So I'll try and speed through the rest of the rub-ons that I add on this layout. So there's the car. Even though it was a minibus, it still sort of does the job. So you can see on this sheet, there aren't really any transport items on there. It's all other bits and pieces. I love this radial piece, so I'm going to use that on the right hand side, but I am going to cut it in half and just use half, and then the other half I'll use on the left hand side of the photo. Just I like to mirror things. If you've heard me talking about this before, quite often I'll mirror things when I do something on the left or something at the top, I'll mirror it to the right or the bottom. So there's that piece down, overlapping the car ever so slightly. I love doing that because it just makes everything flow better. And then I found this little circular element that says ready for another adventure, and then this arrow that says this way out, and then that piece that I'm just adding on the left hand side says explore more. This at the top said this fills my soul, and then a little tag. I'm just messing about trying to decide where to put that tag. I want it to go behind the film strip, and this is why I don't stick anything down, because I do fuss and faff so much. You will have seen, if you've watched previous videos, I start sticking things down and then invariably have to pull them up again. So I normally tend to wait till the last minute. So you can see there's a little tag piece that says "Take me away" at the bottom that I've added, and then this rub-on says "On our way to everywhere," which I thought would be nice for this trip to New York. So just starting to stick things down now, trying to stick it to the photo mat rather than the actual back of the page, so that I can get everything on before I stick it down to the base page. So that circular element, and that's just overlapping that bottom right hand corner of the photo, because there's nothing else on there really, so it's not hiding anything. So again, it's just providing a little bit of continuity and meshing everything together rather than having separate elements on the page. So just adding some glue now to these frames so that I can add those to the photo block. And I want to make sure that I'm not going to cover up the rub-ons. You can see there I'm over a little bit too far to the right at the moment, so this is why I wanted to glue everything down to itself before gluing it down to the background. So just about there now, and then I can flip it over and add the glue. Gosh, I do fiddle and faff, don't I? So here's that other rub-on that I want to add to the left-hand side. So just working out exactly where to put it, but it does go there in the end. So there we go, pulled it off. So it looks very odd when it's on the page on its own, but as soon as the photo mat is stuck down, it all works out. So just adding plenty of PVA to the back of the photos so that I can stick this down to the background. And there, I'm just looking to check where those rub-ons are, that I'm not covering anything. And then I decide that because it's quite high up, there's quite a big gap at the bottom of the layout. I want to add something else, but not something too big and in your face. So I find this little rub-on that's just a text rub-on really, it's innocuous, and just add that underneath that bottom bit of the film strip, and I feel like that just finishes it off really nicely. So the obvious place for me for my journaling was going right the way around the circle. So it's just talking about what I said about Barry being our taxi driver. And then I'm going to add my roller date stamp on the left-hand side inside that frame, and then also on the right-hand side. Again, just mirroring what I've done there. Now adding some twine to that tag at the top of the layout, and it's very nearly done. Really enjoyed this. I love this new collection, and I love that I can use it with my Here and There from Simple Stories and get some older stash used up with some newer stash that I've added to it. It's a great way of stretching your stash and not feeling too guilty about buying new as well. If you can amalgamate it with your older stuff, then that's great, isn't it? So just leaving those wax twine threads to dangle down, just tucking them behind these frames, and then I'll add a couple of dots of glue just to hold it in place so it doesn't move when it's in the page protector, and that's it done. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you've enjoyed this, and I shall see you again very soon. Bye.